Good morning, good evening, and good night, everybody. My name is Sarah, and today we're doing part 2 of the playlist book tag. I literally just got done editing the first video that you saw last week, Monday, but I just finished editing that, and I realized it was so much fun to do, and I only talked about books, so why not talk about manga? Now, I mentioned this before, the playlist book tag is where you put your phone on shuffle, and then you pick a book that represents the song. I'm doing this a little bit differently, though. Since I have so few manga, I tried to pick one song for every series. It's not quite as random, but I tried to keep it random. It just, some of these I had to stretch, and I shuffled them a bit, so I already know what's gonna come up, but, I like it, and so I'm doing it. So, forget the rules, we're doing it my way. So, with that all being said, let's dive on in. I had a dream the other night about how we only get one life. Woke me up right after 2, stayed awake and stared at you, so I wouldn't lose my mind. And I had the week that came from hell. And yes, I know that you could tell that you're like the net under the ledge, and I go flying off the edge, you go flying off as well. Something I Need by One Republic is being paired by Byakuman. This manga is kind of like a meta manga. It is about two characters who want to become famous mangakas, or the people who write manga. And our main character has two main support systems in his life, his girlfriend and his business partner. Him and his business partner, they split up the workload. One of them does all the writing, one of them does the artwork. They have been working together since high school. They have decided not to go to college and instead fully devote themselves to this lifestyle of trying to get published, to trying to get their manga series to be one of the most popular in the world. Along the line, his girlfriend they promised that they loved each other and that they would be together as soon as his manga becomes an anime or the TV show. And they would get married as soon as she becomes his voice actor. And it's such a romantic series, and it's so, trials and tribulation, and it really sheds light on the mangaka and, the lifestyle that they have to live, because it is a hard life. You do not get paid much. You do not get vacation time. If you don't get that next chapter out into the next magazine every single week, you're not gonna get paid. And it's such a hard lifestyle, and it's such grueling work, but it really is a passionate industry. People who want to be there and create such amazing work. And I love this series. I highly recommend it for someone who wants to get into manga. It is a bit more technical. This book has a lot more dialogue than most mangas on this list because it does that. Yes, I love the song, and yes, I love this manga, so if you only had one life, I want to spend it with you. If there's a prize for a judgment, I guess I've already won that. All those days chasing down a daydream, that's ancient history, been there, done that. Who you think you're kidding? He's the earth and heaven to you, trying to keep it hidden. Only we can see how you are, you can't conceal it. We know how you feeling, who you thinking of. I Won't Say I'm in Love, specifically the cover by Thomas Sanders, is being paired with My Neighbor Seki. This is sort of a slice of life manga, which I think is one of the most adorable ones out there. It follows our main character as she sits next to class to this kid who just goofs off. He does the weirdest things, and she has made it her life's mission to get him caught, because he is obviously, he's building Mount Fumi out of eraser shavings, and no one has seen him do it except for her. And it isn't really a romance, but a lot of people ship the two characters, especially as the story goes on, and you see oh yeah, all of his stupid little actions, she's kind of yeah, I mean, they're annoying, but that's Seki, and I think it's so cute, and the characters are just so amazing, and our main character, she just goes through, she puts up with so much stuff, and she's no, I'm not having it, this kid is just annoying, and we're going to stop him, we're going to catch him, and Seki's, so oblivious to everything. He's look at my little robot family, I bought them on our field trip, we're gonna take a bunch of photos of them, and then turn it into a photo album, and it's so cute, and it's so adorable, and it's also trust me, if I was in her position, I would be so annoyed as well. So, I Won't Say I'm in Love definitely works for this. Even if you don't see them as a romantic relationship, she slowly starts to put up with him as the series goes on. Not by much, but enough to show that she cares. White Rabbit by Egyptian Central is being paired with Pandora Hearts. This is volume 7. Volume 1 is somewhere. I'm not going to find it, so this was the first one I could find. Pandora Hearts is the series that's kind of like an Alice in Wonderland retelling. No, it's not. It's like Alice in Wonderland inspired. In this universe, there is a system of punishment where if you commit a certain level of crime, you get sent into the abyss. Our main character, Oz, gets sent into the abyss for simply existing. And there he meets another main character named Alice, and she's the Black Rabbit. And she promises to free Oz from the abyss under the condition that she and him work together, because she is in fact a chain, a monster, a creature of destruction, and she wants to get out of the abyss and into the real world. I loved this series, but as it went on, it kind of became less of a favorite for me. There's like 22 volumes of this, and honestly, I think it stopped being one of my upper favorites around volume 10. It was still amazing, I still loved it, but honestly, it peaked somewhere in the middle. Never good. But I love this series so much. I love everything that has something to do with Alice in Wonderland because it is one of my favorite classics out there. It's one of my favorite children's books. And I think that the inspiration where they picked and choose to incorporate it into the story is just amazing. And you know, I love my rock emo songs, and I had to include it with this beautiful manga.
Oh, misty eye of the mountain below. Keep careful watch of my brother's souls. And should the sky be filled with fire and smoke, keep watching over during sun.
I See Fire by Peter Holland is being paired with Blue Exorcist. This is kind of a stretch, but I like it. So our main character, Rin, is the son of Satan, and he can summon blue fire. But the catch is, he doesn't like his father and decides to become an exorcist to try and kill him. And it's just amazing and wonderful, and the dynamic between the characters is just so cool, because Rin has a twin brother, but his twin brother didn't inherit any demonic powers. He is fully human. And it's just the way that they interact as they go through the Exorcist training program to try and learn to kill the demons around them. And all the while, he has to keep the secret that he's the son of Satan and keep the blue flames inside of him and not destroy everything around him. It's so cool and interesting. And I love the characters, and I love this manga and series so much. I believe the ending to this manga has a different ending to the anime. I say believe because I haven't actually finished the manga. I'm working on it. I'm making my way through it. But I love this series so much. And I've seen a resurgence in popularity of it. And I cannot get enough of all the new fan art and cosplay and content that is coming into my life. And I need it now. And I cannot wait to finish it. And it's just, I love it so much, you guys, okay? Castle by Halsey is being paired with Bleach. This is the color book or whatever. It's like an info book, but it still has like a bunch of like colored comics. Ooh, that's a poster that are in it. I don't have volume 1 for some reason. I never went out and bought it, but I love this series so much. I don't like how the manga ended, but the anime ending was pretty good. So, this series is all about this boy named Ichigo Kurosaki. And Ichigo was living a normal life with the minor exception that he could see ghosts. And then one day, a Shinigami appears in his town. A Shinigami is a soul reaper or a death god. And they are tasked to kill the evil spirits and to bring the pure spirits into the Soul Society where they lay. The evil spirits known as Hollows are starting to appear in Ichigo's hometown, and she's supposed to go and get rid of them. But while she's explaining this to Ichigo, the Hollow somehow manages to find Ichigo's house and tries to kill his sisters. The Shinigami gets injured in the process, and so she offers up her powers to Ichigo so that he may have a chance to save his sisters, and from there a whole bunch of crazy adventures happen as she gets taken back to the Soul Society and put on trial for treason, and he must go and find her. I love this series so much. It used to be one of the big 3. The big 3 were the biggest 3 manga in Japan: Naruto, One Piece, and Bleach. Bleach has since fallen off of that bracket, but it still holds dearly in a lot of people's hearts. Other people want to burn it, but that's a different story. So I love this series so much, and Ichigo is such a like, I'm gonna do it, you can't stop me, if I have to burn down this whole society, then so be it. all to save his friend who he hasn't known for that long, but he would do anything to save her. And it's so cool and fun and interesting, and I love it.
Welcome to Wonderland, we've got it all. Potions and pastries that make you grow tall. Forests and cottages, castles and cards that you tell. Welcome to Wonderland, look where you're at. Maddest of hatters, the Cheshire Cat. Magical cabins and lovely white rabbits with clocks.
Welcome to Wonderland is being paired with Are You Alice? This is an Alice in Wonderland retelling, not just inspired. In this universe, Alice has left Wonderland, and since then the world has gone into chaos. Characters are dying, and the White Rabbit keeps going into our world to take back people who have lost their way so they can fill in the role. And since Alice has been missing for so long, he keeps going and trying to find a new Alice. At the start of the book, we were introduced to the 87th, I think it is, Alice. And he is the first Alice to, first of all, be a male, and second of all, to not be brought in by the White Rabbit. To enter Wonderland, the White Rabbit must bring you into the domain. He was not. He stumbled in on his own, and he took the name Alice for himself. And this series follows him trying to go out and prove that he is Alice, that he has the right to this title, and he belongs in Wonderland just as everyone else does. Through it all, he must play a game with the White Rabbit to try and kill the creature in order to set the world back in motion so the characters are no longer stuck repeating the same actions of events, because the story must continue and loop back on itself to where Alice originally fell into Wonderland, and they have been unable to move forward because the White Rabbit keeps interfering with the world. This series is aimed more towards females, so if the action-adventure mangas aren't really your thing, try this one out. There's a lot of supposedly really attractive people in this, and I think it's just such an interesting story because you have Wonderland, this place that you all know and love, but everything is different. Things are in the same order, but something is wrong in every single step. And it's just so cool and interesting, and no one is who they used to be. Like, the Queen of Hearts isn't even a female anymore. Like, in this iteration, there just happened to be a guy who likes really fine clothing. So, I love the new interpretations and the new introduction of the characters and how everything revolves around this new game of trying to kill the White Rabbit. And it's so cool, and I love it so much. I don't know how much the song fits with this because the song, even though it's about Alice in Wonderland, it's much more peaceful, it's calming, it's nice piano music. I don't think it would fit like the tone of the series that well, but Alice is Alice, so we're taking it.
Remember when we all got drunk? I ended up with two broke thumbs. Oh my god, I felt so dumb. Lucky me. I wrote a song that no one knows. I played a show and no one showed. Oh my god, I felt so low. Lucky me. When I was going wrong, you just said it then. What you gonna do? Who you gonna tell? Maybe 100 bad days made 100 good stories. 100 good stories make me interesting at parties.
100 Bad Days by AJR is being paired with Naruto. Naruto, I mentioned this before, was one of the big three mangas. This story follows our main character Naruto, who was raised in a village of ninjas, and his dream is to become the Hokage, the most respected ninja in all of the land. And he's struggling to get that title because he is currently the most hated child in his village because he is apparently the host to this demon, and it's a complicated situation because no one bothered to tell him. But he's always trying to look on the bright side. He loves pulling pranks to make people smile, to make people notice him. And I feel like the tone of 100 Bad Days really fits with that because, yeah, okay, 100 things just went wrong, but trust me, it's going to be a funny story later on in my life. So, I love this series so much. I don't like the ending, but, You have a series that almost ran for 20 years. I think it ran for 15 actually. And so how are you going to end that and make it satisfying to everyone? I personally wasn't satisfying to me, but the first half of this was just amazing and I loved it so much and it was my childhood. So remember to always look on the bright side, I guess, is the moral of the story. I am pairing New Kings by Sleeping Wolf to Yu Yu Hakusho. This manga series is just, I love it so much. First of all, our main character dies on page 2. And then we get a brief flashback of the day before leading up to it. He's a delinquent. He smokes, he fights. It's all the stuff that's like no one thinks he deserves to have a life. But he gives up his life to save a young child and ultimately got struck by a car in the process. The afterlife was not expecting him to do that. They didn't expect him to die that day, so they didn't prepare a place for him in the afterlife. So they're like, do you want your life back? And so he has to go through a lot of stuff to ultimately get his body back and continue living on in the real world. And it's so cool and amazing. And he just has that, like, the attitude that really fits this song. Like, yeah, we're gonna fight you. Like, I'm sorry, I don't agree with you, so we're gonna make that opinion known, and we're gonna take you down. And I love it so much. I think it fits so well with this song, and I cannot recommend this series enough, you guys. It is so amazing. What Is My Life, a Jacksepticeye remix, is being paired with Claylord. Claylord is this really short 3-volume series about this young man named Clay, who at the start of the book has amnesia and he doesn't know where he belongs, what's going on, but he knows he can make golems. Golems are creatures made of clay used for manual labor and the likes. And we kind of get a back and forth between flashbacks and like modern day. In modern day, he's been taken in by these 3 other characters and they're trying to introduce him back into the world that he once lived in because he's apparently the last living descendant of nobility. And it's so cool because he makes these little golem things and he likes to enter them in competition to see like, hey, look, my things can do stuff. And it's so cute and adorable. And there's some heavy backstory that you learn throughout the series. But again, it's only 3 volumes. I love it so much. And it's Clay learning about his life, where he comes from, and the people that are left with him now that his family is gone. So yeah, these are all the mangas I decided to pair with music for you guys today on the playlist book tag. If you agree with any of these or have different songs or different books you want to pair with either of them, then please leave that down in the comment section down below. And while you're there, don't forget to hit like and subscribe. And as always, good night, good evening, and good morning, everybody.